Wyck Godfrey.
Stephenie Meyer.
Melissa Rosenberg.
Hi, Stephenie. Now that you've seen all of your characters assembled up there across that vast battlefield, could you tell us who, when you see them in the film, is closest to what you saw in your head when you were writing the books?
Right, Melissa and I were just talking about how hard it is to remember this. It's been a while. It's nice to see you, Laura. How are you doing? I think Lee Pace actually stood out as someone who really just was so much fun and really looked the part. Miana was really great as Tanya. She fit very nicely. So there were actually quite a few. Valerie as Charlotte looked really great. So there were a lot. They did a really good job of sort of matching the descriptions this time.
I was just curious from all three of you, what was your reaction to seeing the vampire effects for the first time?
On this movie or the first one?
No, this one, sorry. Bella's vampire effects.
Well, it's interesting with effects. You start by seeing very, very rough concepts. So you get into the process of giving notes, and almost by the time that they're finished in the movie, you're at that point going, they look good to me, but I can't remember what it felt like the first time I saw them. You know, I really liked the way Bill handled her shield. I thought that was a kind of a subtle effect, but it was visually representing what we needed to, to have it represent in the movie. So, all in all, when you're standing on set in Louisiana in a giant stage with nothing but fake white snow on the ground, it's hard to imagine that it's ultimately going to look like this battlefield that, the meeting field that Stephenie had described. So I think we're really happy with the way that part turned out.
Well, and I think we talk about Bella as a vampire. The effects, when we first saw it, there wasn't anything, but the performance was really marked from the first time she put in the contacts. It was the Christmas scene, actually, the first time we got to see her, and I know I was nervous because, is it going to be different? Is it going to feel like something new? And I was so impressed with her. I remember we were standing around the monitors doing little, very quiet, happy dances because we didn't want to mess things up. We're like, hey, look at her go. She was really awesome. So that part was really pronounced from the very beginning.
Hi, over here. For all three of you, can you speak about the changes that are being made to the ending of the movie that I read about that is supposed to be kind of an alternate ending?
Well, I wouldn't call it an alternate ending. Hi, Caleb. How are you? It's nice to see all these familiar faces again. Melissa and I sat down when we first were talking about, are we going to make Breaking Dawn into a movie? Will it be 1 or 2? What are we going to do? And the end was something that we knew had to be cracked. And we sat there and hashed it out and came up with something that I wouldn't consider an alternate ending. In a way, I feel like it's kind of off-screen in the novel because we only see what Bella sees. And this was just a way of making visual what some of the other characters might have been seeing. It does feel very surprising. I still, watching it, still have that moment where I go, oh, right, we did that, didn't we? So, I mean, there's something new to see, but to me, it doesn't feel like it's going like hugely off the page at all.
No, and I remember that moment. That was one of my most fond memories, was sitting in that steakhouse with you and Megan. We're both going, I don't know how to do this. I don't know, should we do it? I don't even know. It's, how do you make a cinematic ending without violating the storytelling of the book? And then we just hit on it kind of at the same time over these juicy steaks. And I was just like, it was like that moment of, it's one of the exciting moments for writers is, that moment of inspiration. And we shared that at that moment. It was just like, this is a movie, we can do this.
Hi, Stephenie. What is going to be next after all this success? And as a writer, when do you write? During the night or during the day? Or can you tell us about that?
That actually is one of my huge challenges right now because I write best at night, no question asked. I can focus, you're not getting any phone calls, I can shut everything down, and I'm just more creative at night. My kids get up really early. Really, really early for school. And so right now I'm trying really hard to write during the day. I'm not very good at it. It's like one word every 15 minutes. It's driving me crazy. So that's something I'm trying to get better at. With what's next, after this, it's hard even to think beyond the next couple of days, actually, because it feels like this is a really big hurdle or ending or whatever it is. When I'm done with that, the host is in progress and moving along, and that's like my next exciting thing.